President, you've said that your tariffs do not increase prices for consumers, but now you're lowering tariffs.
I didn't say they don't. I say they may in some cases, but to a large extent they've been borne by the country. As an example, we have virtually no inflation, and yet we've taken in hundreds of billions of dollars. So we've taken in hundreds of billions of dollars. We've used tariffs to stop wars. You look at India and Pakistan, look at so many wars I stopped just by saying I'm going to impose tariffs on your country if you're going to have a war.
So if tariffs
in that
are
case,
increasing prices.
yeah, in that case it was nuclear war, and I stopped it by using tariffs. But oftentimes, and to a large extent, the countries themselves pick up the tab. The companies pick up the tab, and I find that based on inflation, I mean, we have virtually no inflation. When I inherited the country from Sleepy Joe Biden, the inflation, it was the highest inflation in the history of our country, or at least 48 years. They used 48. I say it was the history. We have now a low inflation, going to be very soon even lower. But we'll get some of the prices down a little bit, which will bring them down to a new low.
How much of the tab is being picked up by Americans?
I think very little. I mean, I really think very little. If you look at it, and when you add the trillions of dollars that our country is making, when you add the fact that I'll be giving back $2,000 or so to middle-income people, low-income people, everybody but the rich will be giving $2,000 back, and you add that in. When you add the fact that our country is extremely rich and we have no wars and we're respected again, when you add the fact that when China was threatening to us in terms of rare earths, I was able to solve it just by putting tariffs on China, and we made a deal a week later. When you add all of the benefits, the single greatest thing we have right now is the use of tariffs, and I use them properly. For years they've been used against us, and I think, whether you call them tariffs or anything else, if you didn't use them, you really would have an unguarded disaster on your hands.
Well, those $2,000 payments, will that be inflationary? Because previously Republicans have said that's sending money to people like when they're buying.
Yeah, well, the difference is this is money earned as opposed to money that was made up. You know, that money was made up. Biden gave like the Inflation Reduction Act, which did not reduce inflation, and it wasn't meant to, and they admitted it was a phony name. But they spent hundreds of billions of dollars on a fake deal called the Inflation Reduction Act. That was made up money. When I pay people $2,000 each for low and moderate income and middle income people, everybody but the rich will get this. That's not made up, that's real money. That comes from other countries, yeah.
Speaking of China,